great sisters and many terrific brothers about the Kavanaugh hearings. You are right now in the most important place right now, going to try to win back a key congressional district, and a congressional district in which the current Republican Representative John Faso, actively supported Brett Kavanaugh. He didn't care about the issue of perjury. He didn't care about what this was doing to the judiciary. He didn't care about the many, many women who had been abused and who felt that they deserved a full chance under the justice. He just wanted the naked power of having a key Republican on the Supreme Court. So we have to defeat people like this. We have to take back the House. We have to make sure that the extraordinary Congressman Jerry Nadler, who is also a sponsor of these buses, becomes the head of the Judiciary Committee. And when we do that, then we will make sure that the people of New York and of this nation get a fair chance at the kind of representation that they deserve. So that's what we're working at today.
And people probably most but Jerry has already committed that if we take back the House and he's chair of Judiciary, that he will open an investigation into Kavanaugh, and that the investigation that should have happened now happens.
That's right.
So, but that only happens if we take back Congress. So that's why we're on this bus.
Yeah. CM Bradlander speaks the truth there, and it's a very important thing. So, how many people have canvassed before? All right, looks like everybody, right? I think. If not, the important thing is that you will be pairing up. So please try to go with a person who has canvassed before. It is a very simple thing to do. There are a few basic rules to follow. The important thing about it is that you will be having a conversation with a constituent, and you must, in speaking to them, listen to them. We are here as New Yorkers who care deeply about this, but we should never be arrogant about the things that we believe in. The important thing in having these conversations is to make sure, from listening to them, from finding out about the things that concern them, to be able to show them that they can do better, that they can have an extraordinary, young, highly intelligent, deeply dedicated person who has walked the walk and talked the talk, and as a result of that wants to represent them actively to help resolve the many problems that they have in their daily lives. So it's having a conversation, but having the humility to listen to the constituent rather than bringing our strong positions to the fore. The Delgado office, this is a very big district, New York 19. We are going to the New Paltz office. The New Paltz it's actually one of the slightly more progressive parts of this district. The district itself has strong Democratic advantage. However, it has elected Republicans in Congress for the past several cycles. But the big issues that are concerning the people in the district are, number one, health care. It is important when you speak to them to make them aware of the fact that Congressman John Faso voted to kill their health care. He voted to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. And he has been quite complacent about the fact that about the sabotage that is being done to the Affordable Care Act. So if they want for themselves, for their aging parents, for their kids, if they want the kind of health care that they deserve, they should be voting for Antonio Delgado to get that kind of health care. It is also a district that has many, many health care jobs, so that's a strong support here. And I think you can bring up the fact that we want to bring jobs back to this area and to support small businesses as well as the larger businesses that are providing livelihood to many, many people there. That is another big imperative of the Delgado campaign. We also want to make sure that something is done about the very bad tax plan that the Republicans voted through. Many people in the area are shocked about paying large taxes, including large property taxes, and they have no idea what the monies are being used for. So we have to stress that we want money to go towards good school. We want to build public infrastructure that will also provide local jobs. But we believe that there's an issue of accountability in the district, and that people should understand that their money, their hard-earned money, is going to good things that will advance the district rather than being tucked into some rather bad space. There was a question here. It's both. I mean, the property taxes are very high in these areas as well. So those are the local and state taxes. But there's also, of course, the Republican federal tax plan that did nothing to help working families. All right. Delgado is he is originally from a bit north of the district in Schenectady. His wife is from the Kingston area. His family worked very hard to get him through college, and from that he became a Rhodes Scholar. He went to Harvard Law School. He's a very, very impressive person, and I don't know if we'll be hearing from him today, but he just knocks every single speech he gives out of the park. I mean, it is remarkable to hear the enthusiasm, the power, and the empathy that he has for the people of the district. It is a tough race. He is also a black man, which is tough, maybe tough in this district, and the racist ads that the Faso campaign has used, discussing his very brief career as a rap singer, have done a great deal of damage. I have to say, when I have heard constituents say to me, well, what about these rap lyrics? My response has been, if all the Faso campaign has against Antonio Delgado, that he wrote some wonky rap lyrics years ago that talked about the plight of poor people, that talked about helping younger people, this is a really pathetic excuse. And people that I've talked to have agreed with me on that. It is a very, very minor part of a very distinguished resume of a person who cares deeply about the district, is raising his 2 young children in that district, sending them to the public schools, and has every reason to be fighting for the people of the district when he goes to Washington. The field office is run by, excuse me? I'm sorry. That he was so young at the time? Yeah. Listen, I think I will defer. I'm sure at the field office they will say a few things about where the race is right now and what the Faso campaign is using against Antonio. But I think the main thing is, whatever they're saying is secondary to the fact that this is a person who is fully embedded in the district, raising his family there, caring about the future of the district, and willing to work for the constituents. Antonio Delgado has been going around the district talking to people. John Faso has been hiding from his constituents. He has not shown up at any town halls. He's effectively, relying on a lot of outside money rather than going and actively talking to the people. So the message that we want to get to the people is, this is somebody who's listening to you and is going to work for you. And all the evidence that we have is that he's already been doing that within the district. Yes?
Will you talk a little bit about what? Will you talk a little bit about what Delgado's work has been? Because it's nothing in the descriptions.
I'm sorry. What Delgado's?
What his work has been.
What his jobs have been?
Yes.
All right. Antonio is a lawyer. He has been in a very powerful New York law firm, and that has been his background largely. As I say, he's somebody who has had a distinguished past, first as a Rhodes Scholar, then going to Harvard Law School. But he is a young lawyer who, at this point, he has stopped working for his firm and has committed himself entirely to working for NY-19.
It might be worth mentioning that he's been endorsed by President Obama personally.
That is a very important thing. He has been endorsed by our dear beloved president. For many of us, the only president we have had. And it was a resounding endorsement. And I think also one thing, just, privately, but you can talk to people, when you hear this guy talk, he really has a lot of the Obama power in him. I mean, he has that kind of force and that kind of compassion for the people of the district and the country. So it's a wonderful endorsement that he had from President Obama. I think we should see first off if there's any lit in the campaign office and speak to the field organizer about whether there are tangible proposals that we can point to in terms of job development in the area. That's an important issue that he has a lot of tech connections, according to Lori, and wants to bring more tech jobs into the area, which will be a huge thing for younger people. Going forward. So the field officer is Jason Sutherland. We will be meeting with him, and Lori is going to speak to you a bit about minivan. Has everybody here used minivan before?
No.
All right. So we're going to try to. Have you downloaded it?
Yeah.
All right. That's great. Minivan is, for me, it's very addictive. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I never want to see paper packets anymore. You will be given, signed up to a list number. When you enter that into your phone, it will give you the houses. It will give you the demographics of the area so that you will know when you go to a certain house that there may be 3 people there. There may be 1 person. You'll know if they are registered Democrats. You'll know if they're male or female, their age. When you see the age, for example, when you ring the doorbell, you may know that you should wait a little bit, expecting that it may take them a bit longer to get to the door. Then you have a script, and you will be able to mark whether they are an active supporter, which is a 1, whether they're leaning Delgado, whether they are undecided, whether they are leaning Faso, or whether they are just Faso people and we shouldn't be spending any time with them. So you'll be able to mark this off on the list. You'll also be able to mark off if no one was home, if you were unable to make contact with the voter. You'll be able to make notes if there's any important notes that people should do, including whether the person wants to volunteer for the campaign. And then you close that off on your phone, you move to the next person, and at a certain point, you press the sync button, and all of this data goes to the campaign so that it's updated constantly. Yes. Ashley up front says that you should sync the data a great deal. Many campaigns recommend that you do it every 15 minutes or so that it gets updated. There's also a map that will show you where all the houses are so that it makes it very easy to locate all the people on your list. And so Lori can go over that a little bit with you, but it is an incredibly effective way of getting your data in and getting it back to the campaign office where they can use it. So what we will be doing is pairing people off and assigning each pair 1 list. And you will get your list so that when you arrive at the field office, you can be sent off to the turf. There will be drivers assigned to the groups of several pairs that you will make up who will look after you, make sure you're there. And so the first thing that you should do, I would be grateful if you would enter into your phone first either Lori's or my cell phone number, which you have on your packets. So if you have any questions or any needs, I can help you. And you should also, when you get your driver, if you are being sent to a turf that requires a driver, please put your driver's cell phone number into your phone so that you can always be in touch with that person to be picked up when you need. Everybody, when you leave the field office today, we have there is water and bag lunches for you. There's a choice of a vegetable lunch and I think a turkey and Swiss cheese lunch. So please take one, put it in your packet, and that way you'll have lunch. You can eat it out in the field. It's very nice to sit down someplace and just eat your lunch. But what we're trying to do is to make sure that everybody comes in around 4 o'clock, and we will load up the bus at 4:30 to try to leave no later than 5 o'clock. So this will allow you to get a good day of canvassing in. And I have to say, when we went out to Kingston in NY-19 on September 15th, because we had the best volunteers, there are New York City volunteers, and because we had a large number of them, we were able to do the entire persuasion universe in that area, talking to people whose affiliation was, whose registration was unclear, talking to many Republicans, and we got a lot of people to commit to the Delgado, to vote for Delgado. But the important thing is we helped the campaign enormously by the amount of work that we were able to do. So I hope we'll be able to do that again today. Ashley asked if we were doing two shifts, meaning 2 turfs. I think it's more likely that you will be given enough turf to cover several hours of work and not to come back to the field house. The field house is also very, well, no, in New Paltz the field house is quite large, but I think the likelihood is that we will be out all day and then be coming back later on. One thing that I wanted to say that is important, if you post on social media, please do not mention that you are from New York City. The reason is, much though they love us, the FASO campaign on September 15th posted that the Delgado campaign was busing in busloads of New York City Democratic Socialists, bringing outsiders in to try to sway the campaign. And the campaign is understandably concerned about this, despite the fact that they know that the reason we're doing this is precisely because we care about New York and we care about our neighbors up there. But please, if you post on social media, do not mention that you are from New York City, just to try to limit that.
Okay, what if we get that question on the doors? What if someone says, you know, are you from round here, or some version of that?
You know, I think you can, and you shouldn't lie, and you should say, listen, we're doing this because we're New Yorkers, and we are actually feeling the same concerns that you have. We care about our health care. We care about being priced out of the places that we live in. We care about the fact that our schools aren't getting the kind of funding that they should, and that the infrastructure is not being built. We want jobs for our younger people. We care about our seniors and don't want to see Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid being cut into to pay for tax cuts. I mean, I think you should just focus on the fact that you are there as a New Yorker.
What about the state Senate candidate?
Very good question. Wherever possible in New York, we are carrying lit for the state Senate campaigns in the district. When we were in Kingston, we carried for Pat Strong. Today we will be carrying lit for Jan Metzger, who won her primary recently and is a very, very strong progressive environmentalist who has a very good chance of winning. So we will be carrying lit for her.
Our script says Pat Strong.
That's not the script that is in your minivan.
Okay.
So it's Jan Metzger.
Okay.
All right.
And is she running? She's not the incumbent, right?
No. I believe it is an open seat. Yeah. Oh, and also Juan Figueroa. We may also be carrying lit for Juan Figueroa, who is running for sheriff, who is just a fabulous person. I have heard him speak, but he's running for the local sheriff in the area. Yes, next week is I think the 12th is the deadline for registering to vote for the election. I do not know. I hope they are giving us some voter reg cards. I think that there is a marker in minivan, in your script in minivan about whether people need an absentee ballot. They can go to vote.org, or they can check on the internet, or they can call the local board of elections to see if they are actually registered. I would suspect that if we have them on our list, the likelihood is that they probably are registered, and I know the list may not have been. Well, that in New York City, that was definitely the problem. I'm not sure if that was a problem in this district, but the question is a good one. I think we should see if they do give us voter reg cards so that we can address that. Yep. All right, so Lori is going to go over minivan and sign you up.
I think by now everybody has downloaded minivan. Yeah? Okay, great. So I'm going to come along and I'm going to assign numbers. You pair up, give the number to one person. That's the person that will be marking in, the responses. It's very simple. It will be for Delgado, Jen Metzger, and Figueroa. There is a script. I'll show you how to access it. It's really simple. Yes, Livy.
Can we opt to just go by ourselves?
What's that?
Can somebody tell? Can we opt to go by ourselves?
There are, I don't know, in most cases they seem to want us to pair up. I know that there's one that says canvasser, so perhaps that's a canvasser. Did you want to go by yourself?
Yeah.
All right.
Or because you want to hit more doors, or because you don't like it.
Yeah, because what happens is, the reason only one, you can, let's say in a pair, you can both put the numbers in, but only one person can enter it. Because not for the same house, right? But it's easier. We have found that, and if you want to do it differently, it's fine. But we have found it easier that if you go in pairs, because at the end of the day, only one person is going to sync their information. That's what we've been told, and that's how we've been doing it. Have you been doing it differently?
Yeah, so like each person will have like
But that's two different lists. Yeah. And then you just sync the information that you have. You can do that. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. All right, let's just simplify this for the bus. All right, I'm going to come around.
Bus captains. The other is Lori Harujirojo. Lori, can you raise your hand up here? Our bus driver is James, and we are headed up to NY-19 to New Paltz, where they are so excited to have us, to have a great big group like this, and to have the best people in the world who are New York City volunteers. So we are going to settle down for a little while, and then about half an hour out, we'll do a brief training, go over minivan, and just make sure you're comfortable with everything. I want to say that we are deeply honored to have with us today Councilmember Brad Lander. Brad Lander is one of the greatest public elected representatives that this city or any city will ever see. So it's a great honor to have him and his commitment with us today. So settle down. Our wonderful local district leader, Keen Berger, has baked cookies for you. So we will distribute them just as soon as we get out the tunnel and get moving on. All right? Thank you.
Let's just say a big thank you to Kate and Laura for organizing us.
By the fact that not only is there extraordinary Otto and Jan Metzger and future Sheriff Figueroa, but there also is a sense that people recognize that they deserve and would benefit from better representation, which I think is the key issue here. It's that people deserve to be well represented in politics and have people represent their needs and the issues that matter to them going forward. So in talking to voters today and encouraging them to get forward, we've done very, very good work. And I want to thank you all for that. I want to thank Lori, who is, as always, a great bus captain and a great person to work with. And I want to thank also all of the members of the Vote Blue 2018 coalition, particularly Village Independent Democrats, which is the lead in this, and Tony Hoffman, who is here. And I want to thank the great Brad Lander, who always gets out on the stump to make a better politics and to work for the people of our state and city and going forward. You should know that we are running buses every weekend and all get out the vote days. Many of the organizations that you are with already have special recruiting links, but you can always find out where we're going and sign up by going to votebluenyc.com. And next weekend we will be going back to CD19 to Kingston, as well as to New Jersey 11, where Mikey Sherrill, who is an extraordinary candidate, has a very, very good chance if we can get out and do the on-the-ground work that we have to do. So please tell your friends we need full buses. We need to do the kind of work that we did today. And we hope to be back in New York probably at about 6:45, if not a little bit before that, depending on traffic. All right, so thank you again, everybody.
Thank you.